I've never been one for parties. My wife, Claire, thrives on them. Music, laughter, endless chatter with people she barely knows. Me? I usually hover near the drinks, nod politely at anyone who passes, silently counting the minutes until it's socially acceptable to leave. That night was meant to be special, our 10th wedding anniversary. Claire insisted on hosting at our house, inviting friends, co-workers, even people I hadn't seen in years. She said she wanted it to be a night we'd always remember. I smiled, let her take the lead. From the outside, we looked like the perfect couple. People assumed we had it all figured out. Inside, things were quieter. Not broken, not hostile, just quiet. We talked less, laughed less, touched less. I told myself marriages go through phases. Maybe this party would bring us back together. The house glowed with soft, golden lights. Guests filled every corner. Glasses clinked. Music played. Claire moved the crowd effortlessly, her laughter rising above everyone else's. I watched her from across the room. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the smile that had drawn me to her years ago. She still looked like the woman I fell in love with. Halfway through, someone tapped a spoon against a glass. A speech. Cheers erupted. I froze. Claire raised her hand. "I'll go first," she said. She took the microphone, flashing that confident, public smile she always wore. 10 years, she began. It's hard to believe. We've had good times, rough times, everything in between. But tonight isn't about the past. It's about gratitude. I want to thank everyone here for being part of our journey. And I want to thank my husband, Daniel, for always being there. Something tightened in my chest. Always being there. Not loving me, not supporting me, just being there. I smiled politely, pretending I hadn't noticed. She went on about life, patience, marriage, change. I tried to tell myself she meant it kindly, but her tone felt distant, rehearsed. When she finished, applause followed. I hugged her. She felt stiff in my arms. "Your turn," she whispered. I laughed nervously, took the microphone, and spoke simply. How grateful I was for her, how quickly the years have flown, how I hope for another 10. People cheered again. Music resumed. Hours passed. Guests gradually left, leaving hugs and polite congratulations behind. Around midnight, only a few close friends remained. I went to the kitchen to grab trash bags, try and stay busy. That's when I heard it. Her voice, soft and casual, but not meant for me. She was near the back door with our friend Mark, laughing quietly. "You really think he suspects anything?" Mark asked. I froze. My hand tightened on the bag. "No," she said, lowering her voice, though I could still hear. "He never does. That's what makes it easy." Easy. The word hit like a punch to the gut. I didn't move. My brain tried to rationalize. Maybe it was a joke. Maybe they weren't talking about me. But the tone wasn't playful. It was relieved. "Honest." Mark chuckled softly. "You're ruthless." "Maybe," she replied. "But it's better than being invisible." Invisible. That word cut deeper than the first. I wanted to confront her, make a scene, demand answers. But something held me back. Not yet. I stayed in the shadows, numb, listening to my wife speak of me like I didn't exist. They laughed again. Footsteps approached. Someone called for Mark at the front door. He left, and Claire lingered by the window, staring out, smiling faintly, like she had finally released a secret too heavy to carry. I turned away before she could see me. When I returned to the living room, she was already picking up glasses, humming softly as if nothing had happened. She looked at me and smiled. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded. "Yeah, just tired." She touched my arm gently. "It was a good night, wasn't it?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, it was." But something inside me had shifted. The party wasn't over yet, but I was already gone. That night, I didn't sleep. Claire drifted off beside me, breathing steady. And even as my mind replayed her words, "He never does." That's what makes it easy. I realized something had changed. For 10 years, I thought we were building a life together. Now, I wasn't sure if it had been trust or just a shelter where she could hide the truth. By morning, the house looked unchanged. Balloons sagged against the ceiling. Half-full champagne glasses sat on the counter. I poured coffee for out of habit, then poured it down the sink before she came downstairs. She appeared, smiling, sleepy, radiant. "You were amazing last night," she said. "Was I?" I asked. She laughed. "You even made people cry during your speech. Who knew you were such a romantic?" I wanted to ask who knew she was such a liar. Instead, I just nodded. Yeah, I guess I found the right words. The day passed. She left for errands, saying she'd meet a friend for lunch. Once her car pulled away, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at my wedding ring. 10 years. Thousands of mornings built on trust. I no longer wanted drama, confrontation, or tears. I just wanted truth. I started paying attention. The hidden texts, the sudden guarding of her phone, the unexplained late meetings. Every sign had been there. I just refused to see it. A week later, Friday night, she told me she'd be at a networking event. I kissed her cheek, wished her a good time, then drove to the downtown restaurant she mentioned. I parked across the street and waited. She arrived at 7, alone. No coworkers, no name tags. Just Claire in a red dress I hadn't seen in years. 10 minutes later, Mark arrived. They hugged. Not casually, not politely, but the kind of hug that said, "We've done this before." I didn't take pictures. I didn't call her name. I just watched, feeling something inside me fracture, yet strangely remain intact. The pain had burned through so many layers, leaving only clarity. Back home, I packed a small bag. Nothing dramatic, just enough for a few days. I sat down and wrote her a note. "Claire, I heard what you said at the party. I saw what you did tonight. You were right. I never suspected. That's what made it easy. But from now on, it's going to be hard for you. Daniel." I left the note on her pillow and drove to a small motel on the edge of town. That night, for the first time in months, I slept soundly. The next morning, my phone buzzed endlessly. Calls, messages, apologies. I didn't answer. I didn't need explanations, timelines, or excuses. I had what I came for. The truth. A week later, at the lawyer's office, I saw her again. She looked smaller somehow. Her confidence cracked. "It didn't mean anything," she said quietly. I looked at her for a long moment. Then it shouldn't hurt this much.